I know that we keep talking on the show about this, but I reckon that this is one of the most important issues of the time. And over the holiday break, while Peter Dutton has been off on a beach somewhere, Anthony Albanese and the rest of the Labour Party have been absolutely on the front foot, pushing forward their plan for a race-based Aboriginal voice to Parliament. Remember just last week when I told you that Albo was planning on putting his referendum up within a year? Well, scratch that. Indigenous Affairs Minister Linda Burney has just revealed that the vote could take place as soon as this August. In preparation for this, they've even got a whole logo and signboard designed for the campaign. There's Labour's Andrew Lee posing with it you see there on your screen. And if you zoom in very closely, you'll see that the fine print says it has been authorized by one L. Burney of the ALP. Meanwhile, over the past few days, we have had the rather unedifying spectacle of Albo turning a New Year's backyard cricket hit and giggle with the Aussie and South African test sides into a full-blown propaganda opportunity to Spruik for the Voice. But politically, why wouldn't they push this through as quickly as they could? I mean, it just makes sense. We all know that the entire campaign of The Voice relies on rushing this through with as little detail as possible, but as much feel-good stuff about how it is just good manners to give Indigenous Australians a say. Never mind, of course, the 11 Aboriginal members of Parliament, the 80 or so Aboriginal organisations that make up the Coalition of Peaks, and the fact that there is already an entire cabinet-level department designed to give advice on policies that will lead to better outcomes for Aboriginal people. The point is, it's just about, well...
It's just the vibe of the thing. It's all part of it. This is what I'm getting at. That's my point. It's the vibe of it. Again, it's just the vibe of it.
Yeah, that's right. We've had so little detail that it really is just about the vibe of the thing. Or, as Albo likes to say, good manners. And he's been saying this over and over again, using more or less the same form of words for many, many months, if not longer. Have a listen.
What it will take is people of goodwill to recognise that this is just about good manners. It's about First Nations people being consulted about matters that affect them. Now, that's the way I was brought up. It's just what we should do as good human beings and good citizens with each other.
Vibe, good manners, goodwill, it really is much of a muchness, isn't it? Now, you see what he's doing here, of course. If you don't support his voice to Parliament, about which there remain millions of unanswered questions, you're simply not polite. You're a bad person. And the strong implication is you could possibly be racist. Never mind, again, the huge number of unanswered questions about everything like what a voice would look like, to how it would be staffed and funded, to where the oversight will occur, to what happens if the very real threat that activists start using it as a way to make law through the courts comes true. Ask too many questions, and you risk being another baddie on the wrong side of history. Gosh, remember when Labour used to accuse the right of simplistic black and white morality? Anyway, of course, if you ask too many questions, you might just help put the brakes on this thing, which I think might not be a bad thing. Yet, Opposition Leader Peter Dutton, for the most part, seems to be nowhere to be seen on this issue. And again, politically, I'm sure you and I both see what is going on here. Having been tallied up the last election, the coalition is gun-shy. While the Nats have said a firm no, losing Andrew G along the way, to this thing, the Liberals are keeping the door open. Peter Dutton has said that he wants to see more details on The Voice, but in doing so, he is delaying what will be, I think, the first real test of his skill as an opposition leader, particularly as there are some within his party room, like Senator Andrew Bragg, who are known to be full-on agitators for the yes case. So the question is, will Peter Dutton declare a party position and make it binding, as John Howard has said he should do? Well, if he is going to do so, he better get his skates on. 8 months is not a long time to start running a no campaign, particularly when the yes campaign has got its communication strategies and support from much of corporate Australia, which is looking to tick a box in its DEI plans lined up already.